Well, a happy new year to you here from Carrow Road, where Norwich City have beaten Millwall 2-1. A game full of ups and downs that are probably going to be repeated over the course of the entire year, I'm sure. And a very welcome and crucial win too, given of course what happened and the decisions made up at Burton on Saturday. Some really good performances, which probably underlines that maybe Norwich were a little bit unlucky to be behind come half-time, which is becoming a little bit of a habit here at Carrow Road. Tom Trybull absolutely outstanding, and he got a crucial goal early in the second half. A wonderful diving header from James Maddison's free kick that really kicked off the entire game for Norwich City, and although they'd had chances, they never really got full momentum, I thought, in the first half, and Millwall actually had the better of the first half sort of from midway point onwards, so that was a big point for them. But I thought Tom Trybull was excellent. His goal was good, his first goal here at Carrow Road in the league, and actually speaking to him after the game, he's confirmed to me that he has been offered a new contract, a longer term contract at Carrow Road. There's still discussions to be ongoing with that and things to be decided, but he does want to stay, he's keen to stay. His current deal does actually give Norwich an option to extend his stay beyond the first season into a second, so the club don't have any real urgency to get that sorted, but of course a longer term deal would be beneficial, I'm sure, for everyone. The other top performances came from Jamal Lewis, his first start here at Carrow Road and only his second in professional football, and he was generally outstanding, and at times he was coming up against Steve Morrison, who more of him later, but clearly the challenge was there for Jamal and he certainly rose to it. Josh Murphy, I thought, was back to his best across the entirety of the game. Forced the issue, worked so hard, chased down lost causes. He seems to have been given a new lease of life by playing in front of Jamal Lewis. I don't know what that's about, whether it's having an academy product who's looking up to him. Not that Jamal seems to be looking up to anyone, he seems to be very much his own guy, but that just seems to have given Josh a new lease of life, and we saw that at Birmingham as well. But that's great to see, because more of that from Josh and Norwich will be absolutely laughing. What I would say from here, though, James Maddison, coming of age, what a performance, getting on the ball, always taking responsibility. He, of course, provided the free kick for Norwich's equaliser, and also then scored a wonderful goal, worked brilliantly by Alex Pritchard, who was obviously excellent. He would get that standard level of performance from Alex anyway, but just the way James Maddison takes control and when he really does take responsibility when other players might disappear. And some will feel that he's overconfident at times, but it's not. It's a real security in his own talent. And as I've said numerous times, Norwich very lucky to have a player like James Maddison on the books, and hopefully that lasts beyond January, because that's going to be one of the key question marks, of course, going forward for Norwich City. There were positives and negatives in him and Pritchard. At times Norwich were really stodgy going forward because they couldn't work it through the lines quick enough between those two key axes, and when that goes well, Norwich create a wonderful goal like the winner they scored today, but when they don't, it's stodgy and they haven't got enough options ahead of the ball, so it's a real difficult balancing act. But when Norwich have the movement and the forward running, it can work, and that's the thing they've got to get sorted. And in fairness to Daniel Farke, it's the thing that he said they've got to get sorted in the past as well. Did want to touch on Nelson Oliveira. A few rumours linking him with Wolves there before kick-off, and maybe that's a move that works out if Wolves want it and if they offer enough money, because I'm not entirely sure the kind of striker Norwich want to play up front. I don't know what it is that would fit into the system best, because you don't want someone continually coming back to pick up the ball, and it then gives you no forward options. And Nelson hasn't looked like scoring in the last few games at all. Yeah, he's actually worked okay and linked the play okay. It's just there's then no goal threat. It's a really curious one, and he seems to be a lot less inclined to shoot. Now, whether that's a confidence thing or whether he's been told to work out what he does with his shooting, I don't know, but that's a noticeable difference. Millwall did lead at half-time. It came from a goal late in the first half from Steve Morrison, an absolute corker. I haven't seen it again properly to judge whether Angus Gunn could have possibly done better with it, but it was a wonderful strike. I'm not sure if it hit his shin and rolled down off his foot. Yeah, I'll have to have another look, but it was a corking strike, and he very much enjoyed, of course, coming back and scoring against his former club, a club where he did really well at, Steve Morrison, but of course Millwall is where he's truly loved, and that's his second goal in 2 games, having not scored before the Christmas, so it's turned around for him a little bit, but it's interesting that Neil Harris actually called Millwall a disgrace in the second half. He was far from happy. I think Norwich had a certain amount to do with that themselves once they got level, but perhaps they shouldn't have got level, and that may be where Harris made his point. But I do think what's worth offering at this point probably is a dose of realism, because Norwich have played everyone once, of course, in the Championship, and then they've played Burton and Birmingham, who are both, or were both, in the bottom three when they played them, and Millwall, who were in League One last year. That's the entirety of their fixtures so far, and although it's been a good run, an excellent run in this latter part of Christmas, 7 points from 9, that was what I said before these 4 games, including Brentford, the minimum I wanted to see them pick up. So it has been an easier run. They have needed to pick up points, and they have done it. So fair play. What we do know is that after the Chelsea game here in the FA Cup, next Saturday Norwich have got a much tougher run of Championship fixtures, and that will test this new unbeaten run and where they are in their improvements, and of course the further January rumours that bit more. That's the realism. At least they did the business today, which, as I said, was absolutely crucial given what happened at Burton, and at least they go into that run of Championship fixtures unbeaten. All that leaves me to say is a very happy new year.